Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final day of our Oshogatsu Virtual Family Festival. We are so excited to have you here to celebrate the new year with us, to celebrate the year of the year of the ox, 2021. Throughout this program, we'll be asking you to get involved in the chat, so you can use the chat feature. And you just saw on the screen the question of the day. The question of the day, if you enter that in the comments, not the chat, in the comments of this video once the video ends, your favorite food to eat at a celebration or a party, you'll be entered in the chance to win a membership, a free JANM Family Dual membership for the year. If you missed the previous activities throughout the week, you can find those all on our website, janm.org/oshogatsu2021. Links in the description. And you can check those out. Some of them will be available for a little bit longer, and some of them will be available for the foreseeable future. So just make sure you're checking out those activities. And if you have any, haven't yet entered our scavenger hunt or done our coloring book page, please do that as well. You can find those all on our website in our special booklet. But today is all about food, so I gathered some friends to talk about JANM specific, not JANM specific, sorry, New Year's specific. It's been too many festivities this week. New Year's specific activities and foods. So we're going to be talking about osechi, Japanese traditional foods, and Japanese American traditional foods. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Philip, Kent, Emiko, and Corey to talk about all of their favorite foods and let me know what you think of their opinions on these foods and what your favorites are as well.
Thank you, Joy, for the introduction and for having us be a part of your or JANM's Oshogatsu program. Even though I feel like even though New Year's is over, we aren't done with eating the New Year's food if you've made a lot, because that food stays for at least a good week, and all the mochi that you make, Corey, if it's okay, it does go into the freezer and we get to enjoy it throughout the rest of the year. But first, we're going to do some introductions for today's program. And Kent, if you want to start it off.
Sure thing. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. My name is Kent, and I'm here today because I love New Year's food. I love the gathering of New Year's and relatives getting together. But most importantly, I really like mochi, and I really like making mochi the traditional way with usu and kine. One of my favorite things of the year or before the pandemic was to gather, myself and all my relatives. Maybe 50 of us would gather and we'd make about 100 pounds of mochi gome rice and make mochi. So it's a good time. And I really missed it this year, but hopefully next year we can gather and do it again. So I'm excited to have a conversation with all my friends here and talk about New Year's food.
Thank you, Kent. Emiko.
Hi everyone, my name is Emiko. I was looped into this because recently I've gotten very into learning and documenting my grandparents' osechi-ryori. So even though I grew up watching them prepare it a lot as a kid, I never really learned the specific techniques to doing it. My grandpa was an electrical engineer, so he's super precise about everything. And the past 3 years, I've spent a few days up at their house recording everything to make sure that I know how many inches things are supposed to be cut at, what angle they're supposed to be cut at, and it's making my grandpa really happy. It's making me happy. It did look a little different this year in that he entrusted me to make one of the most complicated dishes on my own due to the situation that we're in, but we were still able to eat everybody's food. Everyone dropped off food at my parents' house, and my mom packaged up bentos for everybody. And that's how we distributed all of our lucky foods to the whole family. So it was a good time. I want to say that I'm pretty well acquainted with a lot of osechi foods. So looking forward to talking about them today.
Okay, thank you. Corey, would you like to introduce yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, so what's up, guys? I'm Corey. My family owns Fugetsudo. It's the oldest mochi company or mochi shop in the country. And one of the main things we make is komochi, and we make you cook komochi for ozoni. So it's kind of the reason why I guess I'm here. Ozoni is, to me, ozoni is like the one of the more main like New Year's foods or shogatsu foods. So yeah.
So I've heard, Corey, I've heard there's this thing called Mochi Madness.
Yeah, so Mochi Madness is it's really what we call like a whole group, and so it's a bunch of volunteers. So it's like we have different like organizations from Low Tokyo. It's like Low Tokyo Service Center, and then was it Nikkei Women's Legacy? There's some other groups I'm missing, but yeah, they help us out a ton. They pack mochi all night for us. So it really just keeps it moving, and it was tough without them this year. So hopefully next year it'll be different. We'll be able to see them again. But yeah.
And how many mochi do you usually? I don't even know how many mochi do you usually make on.
How many pounds? I guess.
Or how many pounds? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess normally I think I would say about maybe like 4 or 5 tons. I think of rice we go through for the whole from like the 26th to the 31st.
Ooh.
And then but this year was definitely cut back a lot, but we're still breaking our backs. We're still working hard, but yeah, it's a lot of rice to go through for sure.
Ton of rice. And
Yeah.
and because there's a pandemic, how did you adapt to make to be in everyone's ozoni?
Yeah, so I think this year's if you went out and got komochi, some of our komochi, it's kind of noticeable in the markets that it was all frozen, and I know a lot of people don't like that, and it's very it's super understandable, because I see the old jichans and bachans, they're like touching the komochi right to see if it's soft or whatever, and it's like it's frozen, you can't really tell, but it was this year, like without all the help of Mochi Madness, it was only us. It's impossible to try to make fresh komochi every day, and we just go through so many pounds of rice that we would have to work 24 hours a day in order to do it. So we definitely felt that this year we had to cut back, and we had to settle for frozen komochi. It's still good, by the way. Do not worry if it's not soft. If it's put in the toaster, it'll be totally fine. Don't worry. But yeah, we just it was a little bit more laid back, but it's still main priority was just being safe. No mochi is really worth trying to spread COVID with. So yeah.
Yeah, and I love the like little pop-up tent that you held outside. It was like a pop-up outside of your actual store, and it felt like it almost had this like farmer's market feel, where you have the goods outside, you have a tent, and you have trays of mochi. So
yeah, because there's some people that just come only for komochi, and it's tough having a 2-person capacity at once, but it's just things we have to give up just to make sure that everyone's safe, make sure our employees and even can't give it to customers either. You just got to do our part and try to slow down the spread.
Corey, for the lovely viewers at home, could you maybe explain what komochi is? I think some people may not know.
Yeah, sure. So komochi is it's purely made out of sweet rice. So it doesn't have a filling, doesn't have an extra flavor. I mean, a lot of people know what mochi is, but mochi is mixed in with sugar and usually has a filling. So this one is just straight rice, and it's really just used for like New Year's soup for like ozoni. You toast it, or I know some people they like to put in soy sauce and sugar and wrap it in nori. That's my favorite actually. But yeah, it's just plain sweet pounded out sweet rice.
So what's everyone else's favorite way to eat komochi? Because I'd have to agree with Corey. Sugar and shoyu is my favorite. Maybe with kinako too.
how do you heat it up? Or how do you like to cook it or heat it up? or do you eat it straight from the freezer?
Oh.
Like, or
And break your teeth.
A fresh bag, yeah. Or freshly made.
Definitely toaster oven is the way to go. I think, or oven or toaster oven. I use a toaster oven just so when it puffs up. I mean, if you really wanted to, I guess you could use a microwave, but you don't get that like browning like puff up same as a toaster oven. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is also toaster. I feel like there's also people appreciate either the crunchy part or the gooey part. I am team gooey part. And recently I've also been putting in a little bit, this might sound really weird. I've been putting in a little bit of vinegar and togarashi with my soy sauce and sugar to make like, I don't know. I had this sauce with this karaage once and I got real stuck on it. I'm pretty sure that's what's in it. And now I put that on everything. So that's what I've been doing. It's different. If you're feeling different one day, then highly suggest.
That was vinegar and togarashi.
With the soy sauce and the sugar. So not just on its own. I'm not a monster.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
And if anyone, I also heard that someone uses a waffle iron, in which it like flattens it out and it almost makes it like a senbei. And there's like elements of crispy and gooey. Yeah, those are really fun. And if anyone that is watching has any suggestions or wants to share how they eat their mochi, just drop it down in the comments and we'll maybe try it.
Yeah. We'd love to hear from you how you prepare your mochi. Wait, Philip, who are you?
Oh yeah.
I just wonder. I was like, I'm gonna click this random Zoom link and see if there's anyone in this room, and yeah, that's how I spend my nights nowadays. No, I'm Philip. My parents own a restaurant in Little Tokyo that is just over a year old. They previously used to have a restaurant in Pasadena, and we. Yeah, so we're kind of the new kid on the block, but we are more than happy and ecstatic to be in Little Tokyo because that's kind of where at least my mother's side, where her family roots are from. Yeah, so I guess this year was the first time that we did osechi at the restaurant because the previous restaurant was French. And we usually took New Year's off, but this year, and actually last year, I think because Little Tokyo during this time is always so busy, you almost have to stay open. And it's good to see people come out to Little Tokyo to support the community. Yeah, it was definitely an experience because even my father was like, he is traditionally a French chef. He usually doesn't cook Japanese food as a chef. Like at home, it's fine, whatever. But for customers, it was quite the experience. But my mom stepped in, friends and family stepped in many ways to help us do osechi for the first time. So.
And what's the name of your restaurant called again?
it's named Aze, spelled Azay, pronounced like Azeh, I think. Or if you know hiragana, it's A and Ze. The Se with the ten. Yeah. Yeah, which is great because it's like it's the short form of a town, of the name of a town in France, but it also carries over to Japanese phonetics. Okay, great. So now that we all kind of know each other, and now that everyone kind of knows who we are, we're gonna jump straight into this like little food graphic or this game in which we get to, kind of talk about New Year's foods. And Kent, if you want to take it away.
All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's bring up our grid here.
We have some really cool illustrations that could be found on an Instagram filter, right? I think if we just punch in like Oshogatsu, it should JANM. There's a JANM Instagram filter that everyone can use.
Yes, cool. I did it myself. I got the datemaki, which is the yellow one. We'll get into all of those, but highly recommend if you get your favorite food, good for you. But I feel like a lot of my friends have been getting like, oh, that's the thing that I don't like, but you still have to respect it. So that's how it is.
Or you
It's
get
true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I got ozoni. I was very happy about the ozoni filter I got.
yeah, and when you use so the filter is on the JANM profile, JANM Instagram profile, and when you use it, make sure to tag at JA Museum and throw in the hashtag JANM Oshogatsu. So it's JANM OSHOGATSU. And the museum may repost it, and it'll be a lot of fun. I think it's like the first one of its kind, right? I don't know.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Driven by, for, and from the community. Yeah. So as Philip mentioned, we do have these lovely graphics down here that the staff at JANM have come up with and developed. But we also have some other graphics on here that we thought, are good additions to what JANM has prepared for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to rank these items based on a collaborative discussion, a civil collaborative discussion that we're going to have. And we're going to go in rank of time and effort needed to prepare the dish, or our expert Emiko will come in handy, of course. And then we're going to rank it based on deliciousness. So from low to high. Alrighty, so I think maybe let's just go in like a linear fashion. Let's go from left to right based on what I have on my screen. So the first one that comes up for me, folks, is kamaboko. Kamaboko. So is this something that you can make in America?
I kind of don't think so. I want to say that it's like, well, maybe you can. I don't know how intensive it is, but in my experience, time and effort needed to prepare, you're really just like cutting it. This is like a steamed fish cake, I believe, but I have no idea how they get it to that consistency. So the most we do is like, there's this little wavy cutter that we have in our family. You cut it. If some of the pieces come out too skinny, you just like pop that in your mouth and you continue on. So really, really low on that x-axis, but I don't know what everyone feels about the deliciousness axis.
Corey, what are
So
your
I'll just
and which kamaboko do you like? They're, I mean, at least in terms of design, right? You have your like Naruto one, and then you have the one that's like, I don't know the name, but it's the pink on the outside, white on the inside.
Yeah.
Yes, there's like the half moon one that traditionally is supposed to resemble the rising sun, and I believe that's the one that is in a lot of osechi boxes, just because it's red and white for celebration and then rising
Kohaku.
sun for Japan.
I will say I watched on NHK Trails to Oishi Tokyo program. There is a 30-minute program on there about how they make kamaboko, and the host attempts to make it the half moon shape on the wood block. Very fun to watch. Highly recommend. So for me, kamaboko is a childhood memory, olfactory kind of dish, or in food. Like I'll sneak into the fridge at my grandparents' house and grab a kamaboko out of the fridge and eat it. I did that as a child, and I do it as an adult. So I think for me, deliciousness, I'm going to rank this one pretty high. Time and effort wise, because we don't make it, I'm not sure where we would rank this.
It's true. Corey, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I've always just bought it from Marukai or whatever. I don't think I don't know anyone that's ever made it either. But definitely deliciousness is like definitely up there. That's the same thing as I used to eat it when I was a kid. Just grab pieces here and there. Or grab like little like rectangular slices. My mom would cut it and then just eat that. Yeah.
Do you reuse the wooden blocks?
What tainai?
The kamaboko wooden blocks.
Oh,
Those used to be our spoon rests.
At the shop.
Oh, at the shop? I don't know. Maybe like a doorstop or something. like little stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe as far as us folks who don't make our own kamaboko, we might rank it over here, huh? But maybe if we're going to pay homage to the people that do make it, we might rank it over here. So what do you folks think?
I'm cool with that.
How about let's go halfway.
I mean, it's good, but I might knock it down a couple of notches.
Oh, really?
Only because there are other food items in which
Okay.
would, yeah.
Okay,
We
how
can
about right
rearrange
here?
later. If we
Okay,
feel that we
okay.
need to rearrange later, then we can rearrange.
Totally. Okay, cool. Let's go on to this dish, which is what, Emiko?
This is datemaki. So it's a little bit different from tamagoyaki. It's not just egg. You actually blend up, I think it's hanten, it's a fish cake, and you combine that with the egg. So this has like a different texture from just egg on its own. And you're supposed to like roll it up and refrigerate it so it keeps that shape. And this is actually one that my family doesn't make. So I haven't looked too much into what the meaning of it is, but you know, there are a lot of round things in your osechi for fulfillment. So not sure if it's one of those.
So I'm using a little cheat sheet that Jenna put together, and it says that a sweet rolled omelet that represents scholarship because of its resemblance to scrolled papers associated with culture and learning.
Wow.
I'm learning a lot.
I need
So
that.
if you're a student, you just want to eat.
I should start making it.
And if you wanted to find this cheat sheet, you can go to janm.org/Oshogatsu 2021, and you can find a PDF of that cheat sheet there. So, folks, where are we going to rank datemaki?
I'm gonna be honest, I've never had datemaki before. I always have a tamagoyaki. So I mean, if it's anything like that, in time and efforts, I think it's definitely pretty low because it's pretty easy to make.
Oh.
But I don't know about datemaki. Emiko will know, but I have no clue.
I looked up everything just in case I wanted to make it this year. And so I feel like adding in the extra step of blending a fish cake might knock it up a bit from where we'd put tamagoyaki. It sounds delicious. I love everything egg roll. So yeah, I think, I don't know if y'all have insight on the deliciousness, but I would put it up a little bit just because rolling things is stressful. Getting them to the consistency where they don't break is stressful.
So I had the privilege of spending New Year's in Japan in like 2007. And I vaguely remember datemaki in the osechi-ryori that my aunt prepared. And it was pretty delicious. So for my own personal sake, I'm going to rank it in this mid-region because I do think there's... It took some time to prepare, and it was a delicious item.
All right.
Alrighty.
It's pretty tasty.
Pretty tasty. Philip, did you folks put datemaki in the osechi this year for Aze? No.
We did not.
Okay.
Well, we did put the next one. The next.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about this next one. What do we have here?
We might as well just end from here because this is gonna take for the whole grab, the whole thing. It's gonna be the best. But so it's this one is how many layers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layer Jello. Do you count the condensed milk layer?
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. 6. And then the milk layer in between each of them for this rainbow jelly.
Is it a 6-layer Jello or 12-layer Jello?
Well, beyond how many layers, what is this dish called?
So it's rainbow Jello, or some people call it 6-layer Jello, 7-layer Jello. It's as delicious as it looks, but it's also as hard as it looks. So hard, I didn't even make it. We had a friend of ours to make it for the restaurant.
Wow.
And it's just so good. Yeah.
Wow.
It's quintessential. If you go to like a potluck, that will probably be there. Or like a Japanese American or Nikkei potluck.
Yeah. Corey, do you have fond memories of rainbow Jello?
I might be a fake JA because I've never seen or heard of this in my life. Like this is the first time I saw it, and I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "What? This has never been any other New Year's party I've ever been to that has never been there ever."
What? Brian, I hope you're listening to this right now. Your son has never had rainbow Jello.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna.
mean, it sounds good. I
We're
mean, Jello with like condensed milk inside or like layers of it. But I've never had this or seen it ever in my life.
We're
Wow.
gonna send some over, just so you can taste it.
All right, but I'll trade you some mochi.
There you go.
7-layer mochi? No, just yeah.
So where should we put this one, folks? I'm thinking deliciousness and time spent. It's gonna go up here, right? Because it's pretty
I didn't
labor
even realize how hard it was to prepare it. I really took it for granted all these years. My aunt always brought it, and I'm just sitting there like trying to peel apart the layers.
They say it has to be like a very even level, and the
Mhm.
timing has to be exact because it either won't stick, or
Really?
Wow.
because it may not stick if it's not made at the right time.
Wow, respect. It's always perfect when she makes it. Good job, Auntie Nikki.
Yeah.
Thanks, Auntie Nikki. All right. Are we okay putting it all the way up here?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Our next dish. What do we have here, folks? This
I'm looking at the little cheat sheet, and that's ozoni. So Corey, take it away.
Oh, this one's definitely like way up there for me. When I think of like New Year's food, ozoni is it. Especially when you go out and buy your best komochi from Fugetsu, and you put it in a toaster oven and like, oh, perfect. That one for me is like deliciousness is definitely like, I mean, I've never had rainbow jelly, but if it's that good, it's definitely right there for sure.
okay.
What do you have in your ozoni, Corey?
Was that?
What does or what's in the Ketose ozoni recipe like?
Oh, so my mom usually makes it. So it's definitely chicken. You gotta have kamaboko in it, of course. Had a little bunch of mizuna. That's essential.
Mizuna.
Let's see what else in there. Carrots, mushrooms, and then of course there's mochi.
And sorry, wait. Do you use miso in the broth?
No, my mom uses a soy sauce broth or soy sauce base. Yeah, I mean I've never had anyone else's ozoni, so that's all I know.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So if I might chime in for a second, ozoni is one of my favorite topics to discuss and to explore because everyone's family does it differently, and it's part of that Japanese and Japanese American experience, right? We all come from different parts of Japan, before 1945 and after 1945, and so I think what Corey described was kind of a hybrid of the Kanto and Kyushu style ozonis. It's the clear soup, but then the shoyu was an interesting addition onto that one. So yeah, thank you for sharing that ozoni with us. And then Corey, do you folks toast your ozoni before you put it into do you toast your mochi before you put it in the ozoni?
Oh yeah. So you got to put it in the toaster oven and make sure it puffs up. And right when you get the puff has that layer of like brown like crispiness. That's like when it's perfect. It's like gooey inside, and you got that crispiness. It's like that's like the definition of like New Year's food for me right there.
Totally. So every part of Japan prepares ozoni differently. The Kanto region prepares it differently. The Kansai region prepares it differently. One of the unique regions that I find different is the kind of southwestern part of Honshu, west of Kyoto. There's a region on the west coast that prepares it with an azuki bean type soup. So rather than the savory, what we know to be kind of clear soup, they have like an azuki bean soup with a round, non-grilled mochi in it. So yeah, everyone has a different recipe.
Like zenzai? Or
yeah, very, very, very similar. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, my old boss was from Kyoto, and his ozoni had miso in it. So I guess that's more of like a southern region thing, right?
That would be a Kansai region, Kyoto specifically, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. I love talking about ozoni. I could talk about ozoni for the whole time we're here, but we're not going to do that for the sake of this program. To be honest, like when I think about making ozoni, it's the dashi stock, and then you throw in the cooked vegetables. So to me, time consumption wise, it doesn't take a whole lot of time to prepare, but the deliciousness of it, I think we can all say it's a pretty delicious item. So where would you all rank it?
I would put it up there with that rainbow jelly.
Okay, rainbow jelly.
I think that's the best New Year's food to me.
Would you say time and effort needed to prepare, would it be this far over, or would it be more?
No, I think
Middle?
definitely like I'm probably like half that because it's
Okay.
not really that hard. I don't think. But I don't know.
Once you have
Maybe I'm
like the
discrediting my
assembly
mom.
line going for my family, it's pretty easy. You have like your
Yeah.
soup, your vegetables, mochi, then not too bad. I would maybe put it less than the datemaki actually.
Okay. Go halfway?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That puts us at this dish. What do we got here?
We have Kudo Mama.
All right, Kudo Mama. Now this one has some cultural significance, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
these are black soybeans. They're like edamame, but with like a soy sauce and sugar glaze. A lot of us might be we might know the canned version that's kind of mushy, but I actually learned how to make them from like the dried beans, and it's a lot better than the mushy ones. But some people like the canned ones. I'm not going to hate on that, but I have come to like them a lot more than I did as a kid.
Totally. And then time needed to prepare the kuromame. How much time?
I feel like we're gonna have to average this out. Do y'all take them from the can or do y'all have them fresh?
I feel like it's pretty difficult because at least I was told like right they can't be wrinkly. They're pretty sensitive.
Yeah, but you only like soak them and then boil them, so it's also still not too much. Maybe a little higher than the datemaki, but the word mame, as in kuromame, also means health. So I believe that we eat these as a wish for health in the new year. So still really important. Please eat your kuromame.
Right. Deliciousness rank?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like
Okay.
we're being generous with all the foods, and they're all
Okay.
high. We gotta knock them down.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fair.
All right. What is this one, Philip? Which one do we have here?
That one is kimpira gobo.
Kimpira gobo. Alrighty.
When you strip the kimpira, extra long kimpira, right? Also known as burdock root.
Burdock root.
I'm just gonna read this little handy dandy.
Yeah.
It says this osechi dish has braised gobo and carrot. Gobo is a long root called burdock that represents long, stable health and an abundant harvest. This is one osechi food that is eaten all year long. I feel like it's great for fiber. I don't know. I love the taste.
I'll use the fiber.
I love the taste. I don't. Yeah, it's not too hard to prepare.
Yeah, this is definitely something that's at my dinner table like every night. You know, same thing as like rice. It's always just there. But I think this one's pretty quick to cook. No.
Yeah.
You just cut it up and then you put it in the pan. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Really
all right. So level of tastiness, higher, lower?
I don't super like it, but you know.
I'm gonna agree with you, Emiko.
Emiko's sinking the ship.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's fine.
Okay.
That's
all right.
It is delicious, but
it is delicious.
Then hold your ground, Philip.
Is it as delicious as everything else?
Yeah.
So
next
this item,
the toshikoshi soba.
Toshikoshi soba.
It is what you have to eat on New Year's Eve. So it's year crossing buckwheat noodles. The length of the noodles symbolize longevity, and with soba, it's okay to slurp your noodles. And it's great because like you eat it. A lot of people eat it before midnight, and it's not one of those foods that like hang around in your stomach all night because you digest it quickly.
It's definitely And this can be all store bought, right? Like the soba and the tsuyu for the soup. It could be all store bought.
Soba is so easy.
Yeah, making it pretty easy, but I think that you're supposed to eat it all in one bite. You're not supposed to like chew the noodles because they're supposed to keep their they're like long length for a long life or something like that. So I feel like if we had another axis for the danger side of things, then it would be high on the danger. However, we have two.
Right,
So
right.
deliciousness and effort.
We need a 3-dimensional graph now.
Yeah, one that pops
know how
up
to
at
do that.
people.
Yeah.
That's the danger part.
Where would you break this?
I'm gonna say most folks buy their soba noodles, right? I don't think everyone's
Yeah.
making. So I'm gonna put it over here as far as time needed to prepare. The tsuyu, the soup base, it's store bought most likely too, right? But I have to say it's a nice little treat before my real dinner on New Year's Eve.
Oh, here we go. The
Yeah.
Goodness. I think
So,
it's a little more difficult to prepare than kamaboko because you still gotta like boil things. You're not just cutting them, but
Okay.
yeah.
And higher and lower?
That's good. I propose
Okay.
that we push kamaboko all the way to 11 because who's making them? And if you are, I mean that's awesome.
In all respect, but if my grandpa's not doing it, I don't know who is.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd love
And then
to try it.
so these remaining items are not on the JANM pamphlet, but we thought they'd be interesting to bring on because I think many of us probably have had these on our table on New Year's. So let's go through these and let's rank these next few items. So first one up, Philip, which one is this one here?
That's a spam musubi, very popular snack. That could be a meal if you eat enough of it. Yeah, and I thought it'd be really fun because the traditional Japanese food, they symbolize something. Like, what do you think a spam musubi would symbolize? Corey, what do you think? Just off the top of your head.
It symbolize?
Based off of what it looks, it's all optics.
I mean, honestly, if you look at it, it's weird. It's really weird. It just does. It looks kind of strange, but I mean, this is like one of those like childhood foods. Like after like a baseball game, you have like a bunch of sliced spam musubi right there. Symbolize, I guess, just like
It's like a utility.
Yeah, it's just like you gotta have it. You can have it any time of the year, and no matter what the situation is. But it's always nice to have.
Yeah, wrapped in plastic in your pocket or something.
Yeah.
On a hike. Great.
On a hike, yeah.
The brick shape is for utility.
Yeah.
So useful.
You build a home out of spam musubis.
Yeah. All right.
Appropriate.
Ranking wise, where would you all put this one?
You definitely have to put it higher on the deliciousness. That's for sure.
Okay.
That definitely has to be higher.
Okay. On par with ozoni. Is it harder to make than ozoni? Or easier to make than ozoni?
Yeah, I would say it's easier to make than ozoni.
Easier to make than
Definitely
ozoni.
easier.
Yeah.
As long as you have the mold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, cool. Let's move on to this one. I have no idea what this one is, Philip.
Does anyone know?
Is that shumai?
No, that is kurikinton.
Oh. This is terrible. I make that.
Yeah.
Like it's like a kuri manju, but not.
Or kurikinton doesn't really look like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just cooked differently, or is this more like a paste? Not in it's not really like individual pieces.
Yeah.
I can say from experience this year, time and effort is definitely all the way like to the max.
Okay.
I hate making this. I absolutely hate making it.
Isn't it? It's like mashed sweet potato with chestnut. Is it chestnuts?
No, it's just chestnuts. Well, we make ours with beans, with white beans.
Lima beans.
Oh.
Yeah, but it takes extremely long time to cook, and it's very, very easy to mess it up, to burn it.
I think the tails.
You gotta stir it, right?
Yeah. Well, we use a big wooden like paddle, and so we just stir like that slowly. But it's terrible.
What's it like, Philip? Show us.
or is this like a little spatula? But Fugatsu probably has like a canoe paddle. Yeah.
No, it literally is a canoe paddle.
Oh my
It's
god.
about like 6 feet long, and
Full
then
body movement.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So deliciousness, where do y'all want to put it?
I would say on the same level as Kudo Mama. It's like it's a sweetened bean.
All right.
Mm.
Because there's just a ton of sugar.
Cool.
If anyone thinks otherwise, yeah. But yeah, it's hard because you have to like strain it, right?
Yeah. It's I think as far as how it tastes, it definitely is not worth all the work. But you gotta make it, because people look out for kurikinto.
Yeah. Do you have to like take out all the little tails too?
Yeah, like any imperfections, you gotta take them out.
Oh,
You gotta
no.
chop up all the cooties, and it's yeah.
And strain them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the one where it's like the next day you're definitely sore for sure.
Yeah, I want to see this at Fugatsu, like, because
Yeah, that behind the scenes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Next item.
Yeah. What is this one? Here, let me blow it up a little bit. Those look like little fish.
Tazukuri. They are
Oh.
dried sardines, and then you pan fry them in like some shoyu and mirin, and they get really crunchy, and they make the whole house smell. Doesn't matter if you have all of your windows open. I remember waking up as a child to my grandparents making this for New Year's and like knowing that it was going to be that day. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this.
Does it make
But I'm
it,
sure there are other folks out there who are nodding their heads right now and saying, "Yeah, I totally know what you mean."
does
But
it make the clothes smell as well? I'm guessing it does.
yeah, it really sticks. It's the osechi that looks back at you too. Still got their eyes in, but fun fact, they used to be used as fertilizer, I believe, in old Japan, and so that's why they represent a good harvest now. But
Interesting.
yeah, not the fave, but I've been contested about that before, so I don't know how y'all feel.
I don't think I've ever had it for osechi.
Hmm.
Okay.
This is definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, no, this because I used to like when I would go to Japan in the summer, I'd go fishing with my grandpa in the morning, catch a bunch of these little ones, and then come back home and then fry them. So it's like always like been like a super like deep memory in my from about my grandpa. So deliciousness is up there. I don't know about you,
Okay.
Emiko, but that's
I'm sorry.
But because you have to fish for it and you have to pan fry it, so that's a multi-step process. It's probably up there.
I don't know if you have to fish for it.
Yeah, no, I don't think most people don't fish for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You want to do the hard way, yeah.
No,
Okay,
they come
maybe I'll
they
put it
come
over
dry
here.
packaged like shiitake, and
Oh,
you can
okay.
just throw those in directly, so that's pretty easy to make.
Oh, okay. So easier than spam musubi?
I would actually say so, yeah, because everything can just be done in one pan. Spam musubi, you still have to make your rice and such.
Okay.
Do you line catch them or you use like a net?
No,
You need a net for that.
No,
Use your
catch it,
hands.
like a little bit bigger. Like they're not that small, like a little bit bigger. So we use like super tiny fishing rods and whatever. Yeah.
Alrighty. So I think we're getting into let's cover this one because I think we're still on the osechi.
That's the kazunoko, yeah.
Who anybody want to cover kazunoko?
Yeah, let me Google it real quick.
Kazunoko is it's fish eggs. I think
Herring.
roe. Yeah, this one is for fertility. So
Oh.
yeah, to make sure that you can have healthy children.
Oh. This is one of my favorite ones to eat, and I had no idea why we had it. But
For the children.
for the children.
Yeah, it's for the children. Yeah.
Wow.
In Japanese is never mind. And it's a crunchy, right?
Oh yeah.
It's crunchy.
I like the texture of this. When you like chew into it, the little eggs kind of disperse sometimes.
What a great feeling.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to prepare?
I think you purchase it from the store and then you soak it in the sauce, right?
I've never made it.
Do you
so I'm
boil
not
it
sure.
and soak it in the sauce?
Can you enlarge it a little bit? What does it look like?
Sorry.
Oh, is it like those little pod things? Okay, very enlarged. Huh.
I feel like it almost looks like bamboo shoots.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Almost looks like cut up bamboo shoots.
You know, I always remember my family saying it was kind of expensive to purchase. So don't waste it on your New Year's plate.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know how much time and effort needs to go into making it though. And I also don't know how delicious it is. From your description, I got kind of scared. But
no.
that's
It's
different from
delicious.
how delicious something is. So I don't know.
I think I'm gonna put it right here. As far as time, no, maybe over here.
If you just have to soak it, would it go all the way to up? It's like one of those things you almost just have to buy.
Okay, let's put it right here.
Mm.
Okay. I put this one on here because this is a staple in our family. I'm not sure about everyone else. Okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, for sure, for
Okay.
sure.
So these are like the Japanese American wontons.
Like crispy.
How many do y'all
ones.
put down every year?
As many as I can grab.
Yeah.
Honestly, because you know there's only one plate of it, and it's not like it's a major dish or anything.
Yeah.
So it's just like you don't want to be like super like just take a bunch, so you can only take a little bit at a time. Otherwise, the older guys will they'll definitely get mad at you.
You walk by, you grab one, you walk by again.
Yeah.
Yeah, my aunt has learned, and so there are trays of these. It is not one dish. There are like 2 full baking trays of these because
Very smart.
she knows.
You know, I have to say my favorite part about wontons is actually making them. My you know, like I just think in memories like sitting around a table with my cousins, and New Year's Eve we just finished our soba and we're making these wontons, and my mom already made all the pre-filling and all that, and we're just gossiping about whatever, and we're making these wontons, folding them up, putting in Tupperwares, and then we deep fry them on New Year's Day. So for me, that's Well, go ahead.
It sounds like you were just describing the scene from a movie that came out maybe 5 years ago of them making like dumpling like items. Is that a documentary of you, Ken? So what would you eat after after you make the wontons? Because you said that you eat the soba.
We eat sukiyaki.
Oh, sukiyaki.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry again, and this isn't acceptable.
Okay, so where are we gonna rank the Japanese American wontons?
Deliciousness is like way up there.
Oh, it's gotta be for sure.
I'm gonna say it's maybe not so much as ozoni. Probably over here, huh? Is it less than spam musubi?
It is I would almost say it would be on the other side of the ozoni, only because it's a pain in the butt to deep fry things.
Yeah,
It is.
I think so too.
You also have to pre-cook the filling to put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nudge it on the other side of the ozoni, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, we got 3 more. Let's do this.
All right. It looks like a little toy.
This crustacean. What do you call this one, Philip?
We call it a lobster.
Rock lobster.
This is ise-ebi.
Ise-ebi, yeah.
Ise-ebi.
And they symbolize a long life because lobsters live a long life. However, my family always really focused on getting a perfect lobster, and we could never find one that was absolutely perfect, so we gave up. So I guess none of us are in it for long life anymore. We're in it for everything else. But
make up for by eating the soba noodles.
Yeah.
So then from that, I feel like the effort is higher up because if in my recent memory we never found one that was perfect, I don't know. But what are your guys' experiences?
My dad always took care of it, and he had to like tie the antenna back,
I've never actually had this before.
Do you guys eat it? I don't remember eating it. I just remember seeing it on the table.
Yeah.
As a decoration.
It's a display item. Let me find a fake lobster for
it's a display?
Put it on the table. With like anything that's difficult to make, you just classic Japanese versions of them. I'll put on the
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's because my family usually we do crab instead of lobster.
Wow.
Oh,
So yeah, we've never had that, but we always get like those big like king crab legs and everything. Just to give them out to the whole family.
So because of, I don't know, I've never eaten it. Wait, sorry. Do you all eat it or no?
I have no idea. I feel like I was a child, so I didn't deserve it. I'm not sure.
So like time to prepare. It took some time to prepare it. Like you had to boil it and tie it, and
You gotta look for it.
yeah, you gotta look for it.
You
The
gotta
perfect
keep it.
one. Over Kudo Mama. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
but I don't know, because I don't eat it. I want to put it down here because I've never.
Yeah.
I think it would go on the other side of Kudo Mama in terms of time and effort because it's not something that you would cook for multiple days.
Mm,
Oh, true.
okay. Yeah.
Lower or higher from here?
I think if we haven't eaten it, then it's fair for it to be there.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
We put lobster at the very bottom,
Mystery dish.
where you can actually
Okay.
find them because they're bottom dwellers.
Okay.
Next
now we're
item.
getting to two very JA things:
Yeah.
tebasaki and Chinese chicken salad.
Oh, that's chicken teriyaki. That's the only
Oh,
like
my
bone
bad.
chicken teriyaki that I could find. And the saturation for that image is just like all the way up. So yeah.
It's a staple in households, I tell you.
Yeah. Corey, where
Where-
would you put this?
I would put it over Kudo Mama for sure. I think, or maybe that's just because I don't like Kudo Mama like that much. But yeah, it's definitely up there for me.
Less time to prepare or more time to prepare than Kudo Mama?
I think time wise for sure, I think the chicken teriyaki is faster because Kudo Mama we like I don't know about you guys, but we leave ours like boil for a long time. So, but effort, I don't know. I don't know. I don't cook, so I have no idea. I take these
Yeah,
things
like-
for granted.
You do have to like marinate it and stuff. So I feel like where you put it right now makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
This is
And then
just
last
like
but
that
not
J
least,
staple.
yeah, it is. Last but not least, Chinese chicken salad. This is, I feel like that one auntie that always brings it, and she has like her wonton strips on the side,
Yep.
ready to go.
Yep.
Very
So where
delicious.
would y'all
I
rank
don't
this
think
one?
it's not too hard to make.
Okay,
But it's very good.
very good.
So yeah. Okay, not as easy as Kamaboko is like contest. The easiest thing, you just yeah.
I guess
Yeah, I
equivalent is
wanna
found.
say there.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
then-
before we finalize this, do we need to make any addendums? Do we need to change anything, switch anything up?
No, but if there are any viewers that think that we're missing anything, definitely mention it. Mention it in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also didn't have meanings for some of these foods because they're just like that usual Japanese American potluck item. So if you have a meaning for it too, then drop that in the comments.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Great. So it looks like we're done. We're ready to lock this one in. This is our 2021 ranking of Japanese foods.
The
Years.
unofficial.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Corey, Philip, and Emiko, for making this journey happen. Our very unofficial ranking of these New Year's foods. So that kind of concludes our little activity, and we want to thank JANM for allowing us to have the space and time to do this and gather as a group of friends to just enjoy each other's company, be it virtually. So now we're going to bring on Joy. Joy, come on over.
Thank you all. I was laughing along by myself, watching you all rank those foods. I also have lots of fond memories from a lot of them. I was a little bit offended at how low soba was in deliciousness, but it's okay. We're allowed to disagree on that. But thank you so much for coming together, talking about this. I think that it's really is important for us as the museum as we conclude our celebrations this week to talk about food, because food is really that thing that brings us all together, that carries across generations, as you can see here. And I loved hearing your stories about learning how to make these or preparing these with your families. So we hope that all your viewers out here, if you enjoyed this, that you check out the restaurants that we mentioned today. There's some in Little Tokyo and throughout that are preparing these foods. So it's definitely wonderful time. And then hopefully next year we'll be able to taste them all together again. As we go out, I would love to just kind of conclude, because this is the conclusion of our festival. What is one hope, one thing you're excited for, something for this upcoming year as we kick off 2021 with all of these hopes, whether it's longevity or good luck that we talked about today? What are you hoping for? What are you excited about in the new year? Why don't I put someone on the spot? I'll start with you, Kent.
Oh man. Okay. I think wanting good health for everyone, and good physical and mental health.
I'm looking forward to normalcy, but also seeing people in J-Town. I think to plug in Oshogatsu as well and the programming that happens at the museum, but also at in Little Tokyo. I think the programming is a huge driver to bring people into the community, and definitely I love it to see people wear the stickers because I know exactly where they just came from.
Oh, the museum sticker, the little round one they get when they visit. Yeah.
Whether like the silver ones if they're members, or
Shout
if
out to our
the
members.
one, yeah. I love seeing those stickers, and I look forward to seeing them back in the restaurant and in Little Tokyo.
Yeah, no, I mean just health and safety for your friends and family, and just definitely go out and support small businesses, and yeah, just hopefully you can get back to normal soon.
You want to take us out with this, Emiko?
Yeah, a lot of these foods we talked about were also for celebration, and I really look forward to being able to celebrate community with everyone again. Miss a lot of those festivals in Little Tokyo, and I miss seeing all of my friends who I've volunteered alongside out here to celebrate this community and everything that it's done for us and along with us. So hopefully that comes back in 2021, and looking forward to it when it does.
Thank you so much to you all. And Happy New Year's to everyone who's watching. Let us know what you're looking forward to in the next year. Let us know if you've tried any of these foods, if you're excited to try any of these foods. I think that's my hope. Lots of delicious foods into 2021 for me. So with that, thank you so much. You can find more information about the festival, about all the activities you can catch. Even as we're concluding today, they'll still be up online, and you can find that in the description of this video and on our website. And you also find information about the different restaurants and businesses we mentioned today. So those will be in the video description as well. And thank you so much and have a great day. Bye, everyone.
See ya. Bye-bye.